Hey guys, it's the Wizard, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Madison Steelers deck, also known as the Steel deck by Daniel Madison. So, let's get into this. Alright, so taking a look at the tuck case, it's a very reflective tuck that has a steel-like texture to it, and it also has, when you feel the tuck, it feels rough, almost metally, and even sandpapery, and it's just definitely not a tuck that I really like, because it's too reflective for one thing, as you can see, and it just doesn't really feel as good. Also, at the bottom corner right there, you can see it says Steelers, but beyond that, it's a very simplistic tuck, and the bottom is extremely shiny, but has some Daniel Madison and Ellusionist info on it. Opening it up, again, it's very simplistic, and the design continues onto the flaps. But let's actually get into what you get with this deck. Taking a look at what you get with this deck, in addition to the standard ad card, which basically says Madison Presents, in addition to that, you get a double backer with this deck and two jokers, which simply just say the joker with a steel chain link fence type background embedded in the lettering, along with a reveal in the corner, which is the 9 of clubs. Now, putting those aside, and let's take a look at the back design. What I don't like about this back design is that it's a solid back design. It's all pretty much uniform, and it looks like scales, metal, chain link. That's what it reminds me of, and I don't like it because there is no border to it, which means that if I were to take a card, flip it over, and bury it in the middle of the deck, just in a simple fan, which by the way is quite stunning with this deck, it's revealed. Taking a look at the Ace of Spades, it is a custom ace and looks like what you would expect in a Madison deck. Now, this is where it gets a little disappointing, is that the faces and pips are far from custom. They are just bicycle standard, with the colorations being altered slightly, and the black is not as dramatic as that of a bicycle standard. The court cards are really the things I like the most about this deck because of their silver colorations, which I believe look quite spectacular. And the red also is not as bright, and it's been dimmed to look a bit more crimson. But again, this deck is far from custom, and it just looks like a bicycle standard deck, which is really my biggest piece of grief against the deck itself. I suppose it would be beneficial if you were performing and you wanted the spectators to have a deck design that would be recognizable and a design that would not be suspected to be marked. Now, going into how this deck handles, when you take a look at the finish on this deck, I believe it to be at least equal to, if not better than, Performance Coat. In addition, the finish is highly slippery, which makes it a deck that is by no means easy to handle for beginners, so this deck is definitely geared towards the more advanced magicians. In addition, the thickness of the stock feels very similar to that of a bicycle standard, and the flexibility is actually better than a bicycle standard. Also, this deck is traditionally cut.